Hello everyone. Welcome to today's class on tomato production. In the following session, we will delve into the key technical knowledge of tomato production, covering aspects such as botanical characteristics, environmental requirements, growth and development cycles, and cultivation techniques. Botanical characteristics. 1. Roots. Tomato plants have a well-developed root system that is widely distributed and penetrates deep into the soil. The main root masses are concentrated in the top 30 centimeters of the plow layer. The roots have a strong regenerative capacity, making them suitable for seedling, propagation, and transplanting. 2. Stems. The stems are semi-erect or semi-vining in nature and require support. To prevent lodging, the plant has a strong ability to produce lateral branches, which necessitates regular pruning and removal of suckers. The stems also have a strong branching capacity and adventitious roots, can easily form at the nodes, which is why tomato cuttings have a high survival rate based on their growth habits. Tomato plants can be classified into determinate and indeterminate types. 3. Leaves. The leaves are pinnate with an odd number of leaflets or deeply pinnately lobed, and they are arranged alternately. The leaf size varies, with 5 to 9 leaflets per leaf, which are ovate or oblong in shape. The leaf margins have irregular serrations or lobes. Both the leaf surface and petioles are covered with hairs and glandular structures that secrete a fluid with a distinctive odor, which can repel some pests. 4. Flowers. The flowers are bisexual, yellow in color, and self-pollinating. They are arranged in compound racemes, with 3 to 9 flowers per inflorescence. The corolla is yellow, and self-pollination is common. However, abnormal flowers can easily form under low-temperature conditions. The first flower cluster begins to differentiate when the seedling has 2 to 3 real leaves. 5. Fruits. The fruit is a berry, typically flattened or nearly spherical in shape. With a wide variety of forms, it is fleshy and juicy, with smooth skin. The fruit color can be red, pink, orange, red, yellow, green, or white. 6. Seeds. The seeds are flat and kidney-shaped, with colors ranging from grayish-yellow to light yellowish-white. The seed coat is covered with fine hairs. The 1,000 seed weight is approximately 3.0 to 3.3 grams, and the seeds have a viability of 3 to 4 years. Environmental requirements. 1. Temperature. Tomatoes thrive in warm temperatures but are not tolerant of extreme heat. The optimal growth temperature range is 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, with the most suitable soil temperature being 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Different growth stages of tomatoes have varying temperature requirements. The germination stage requires 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. The seedling stage requires 20 to 25 degrees Celsius during the day and 10 to 15 degrees Celsius at night. The flowering stage requires 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, and the fruiting stage requires 25 to 28 degrees Celsius during the day, and 15 to 20 degrees Celsius at night. 2. Light. Tomatoes are light-loving crops, with a light saturation point of 70 kilolux and an optimal light intensity of 30 to 50 kilolux. Insufficient light often leads to flower drop. Tomatoes are short-day plants, but this requirement is not strict. Some varieties can flower earlier under short-day conditions, while most varieties flower earlier and grow more vigorously under 11 to 13 hours of daylight. However, strong light accompanied by high temperatures and drought can cause leaf curling, low fruit set rates, or fruit surface scorching. 3. Water. Tomatoes are semi-drought tolerant crops and grow well under relatively low air humidity conditions. Generally, a soil moisture level of 60 to 80% and an air humidity of 45 to 50% are ideal. High air humidity not only hinders normal pollination but also leads to severe diseases under high temperature and high humidity conditions. During the fruiting stage, it is important to maintain soil moisture and avoid fluctuating between dry and wet conditions to prevent fruit cracking. 4. Soil and nutrition. Tomatoes are not very particular about soil conditions, but to achieve high yields and promote good root development, it is advisable to select deep, well-drained, fertile loamy soils rich in organic matter. The optimal soil pH range is 6 to 7, and soils that are too acidic or too alkaline should be amended. Accordingly, during their growth cycle, tomatoes absorb a large amount of nutrients from the soil, and additional phosphorus and potassium fertilizers are required in the later stages. Calcium deficiency during growth can easily lead to physiological disorders in the fruit. Growth and development cycle. 1. Germination stage. This stage extends from the emergence of the first real leaf to the appearance of the first flower bud, which takes 50 to 80 days. This period marks the transition from primarily vegetative growth to the simultaneous development of reproductive and vegetative growth, directly affecting the formation of fruiting organs and yield. 2. Seedling stage. This stage is from seed germination to the emergence of the first real leaf, which takes 7 to 10 days. 3. Flowering stage. This stage is from the fruit set of the first flower cluster to the end of harvest, pulling the vines. During this period, both the plant and the fruit grow simultaneously. Resolving the conflict between vegetative and reproductive growth is the key to management during this stage. 4. Fruiting stage. This stage is from the appearance of the first flower bud to fruit set. High or low temperatures and excessively dry or wet conditions can all affect flowering and fruit set. Cultivation techniques. 1. Variety selection. For commercial cultivation, varieties that are disease-resistant, high-quality, high-yielding, durable for storage and transportation, and suitable for market demand should be selected. Examples include varieties such as Zhaofeng, Bailey, Shali, Lobi, and Hizuo 903. 2. Land preparation and base fertilization. Tomatoes should not be grown in the same plot for consecutive years. A rotation of 3 to 4 years with other Solanaceae vegetables such as eggplant and pepper is recommended. The land for tomato cultivation should be plowed to a depth of 30 centimeters, leveled, and then ridged with ridges 0.8 to 1 meter wide, furrows 0.3 meter wide, and a furrow depth of 0.2 meter. In regions with heavy rainfall, the ridge surface should be shaped like a turtle's back and covered with plastic mulch. Apply 3,000 to 5,000 kilograms of well-rotted organic fertilizer, or 200 to 300 kilograms of bioorganic fertilizer per acre, along with 50 kilograms of compound fertilizer and 1 kilogram of fertilizer containing medium and trace elements. 3. Seedling raising. Seeding time should be reasonably arranged according to local conditions. The process includes seed drying, soaking, and germination. Before sowing, the standard for healthy tomato seedlings is a height of 15 to 25 centimeters, a stem diameter of over 0.6 centimeters, 6 to 8 leaves, and visible flower buds on the first inflorescence, with no signs of pests or diseases. 4. Timely transplanting. When the soil temperature at a depth of 10 centimeters stabilizes at 10 degrees Celsius, it is suitable for transplanting. The recommended planting method and density are as follows. The spacing between plants should be maintained at 50 to 60 centimeters, and the row spacing should be kept at 0.6 to 0.8 meters. It is advisable to plant 2,500 to 3,000 plants per mu. Additionally, it is better to transplant in the afternoon after 4 p.m. on a sunny day or on a cloudy day. After transplanting, it is essential to thoroughly water the plants immediately, then water them again with a root establishing irrigation after 3 to 5 days. 5. Field management. 1. Staking and pruning. When the tomato plants reach a height of about 30 centimeters, it is time to stake and tie the vines. The commonly used staking method is a frame structure with vines tied using a reverse H shape. For outdoor cultivation of large tomatoes, single stem pruning is often adopted, retaining 5 to 6 flowering clusters per plant, with 4 to 5 fruits per cluster. In addition to single stem pruning, double stem and multi-stem pruning methods are also used. It is important to remove excess lateral branches in a timely manner, as well as deformed, diseased, and excess fruits. In the later growth stages, remove the lower old and diseased leaves to reduce nutrient consumption and disease spread, and to enhance ventilation and light penetration. 2. Fertilization and irrigation. Drip irrigation or subsurface irrigation should be used for watering. Watering should be done promptly after transplanting, followed by a second watering 3 to 5 days later. The relative soil moisture should be maintained at 60% to 70% in spring, 75% to 85% in summer and autumn. Timely top dressing should be applied based on the growth period and plant condition. When the first and third fruit clusters are swelling, apply 10 or 15 kilograms of compound fertilizer per acre through irrigation. As the fruits increase in size and number, gradually increase the frequency and volume of watering. During the fruit swelling period, foliar spray 2 to 3 per mil potassium dihydrogen phosphate plus 2 per mil urea every 10 to 14 days, for a total of 2 to 3 applications. Additionally, using fermented oil cakes and various biofertilizers as top dressings can significantly improve tomato yield and quality. 3. Flower and fruit protection. During the flowering period, when encountering adverse factors such as excessively high temperatures, above 35 degrees Celsius, excessively low temperatures, below 15 degrees Celsius, insufficient light, drought, or waterlogging, foliar spraying can be applied. A mixture of 150 to 200 grams of potassium dihydrogen phosphate and 30 grams of quick-acting boron, diluted in 60 kilograms of water, can be sprayed to provide foliar feeding and promote fruit setting. Alternatively, a solution of anti-abscission agent at a concentration of 25 to 50 milligrams per kilogram can be used for flower spraying treatment. 6. Pest and disease control. Adhere to the plant protection policy of prevention first, integrated control, and uphold the principle of non-toxic management, prioritizing agricultural, physical, and biological control methods. The common major diseases of tomatoes include viral diseases, late blight, early blight, blossom end rot, and bacterial wilt, etc. For viral diseases, prevention is the main strategy. Use a 1,000 to 2,000-fold dilution of virus quick control, or a 500 to 700-fold dilution of 20% virus A, or a 500-fold dilution of 20% Virazole for spray control. For late blight, an 800-fold dilution of 77.2% normal pressure water agent or an 800-fold dilution of 75% chlorothalonil wettable powder can be used for spray control. Spraying should be done every 7 to 8 days for a total of 2 applications. The main pests include aphids, whiteflies, leaf miners, and root knot, nematodes, etc. For aphids, use a 2,000 to 3,000-fold dilution of 10% imidacloprid wettable powder or a 2,000 to 3,000-fold dilution of 2.5% deltamethrin emulsifiable concentrates for spray control. For leaf miners, use a 1,500 to 2,000-fold dilution of 20% leaf miner clean or an 800 to 1,500-fold dilution of 10% leaf miner killer for spray control. 7. Timely harvesting. Tomatoes mature 40 to 50 days after flowering. Harvesting should follow the principle of picking one batch at a time as they ripen to avoid rotting and splitting of fruits. For fresh market sales, it is advisable to harvest during the color-changing stage or semi-ripe stage. For storage or long-distance transportation, harvesting should be done at the white ripe stage. That's all for today's lecture on tomato production. See you next time.